When it's time to start your graphic novel or your comic book, you should have your characters well established. I don't mean just by writing out their character traits, but by also drawing them out several times and experimenting with gestures, facial expressions, even things like hair and clothing and beards and mustaches. I have two characters here, Louise and Cam, that I'm working on currently. Here's a close-up of Louise. Now this isn't perfect yet, but as you can see, she likes to wear lots of jewelry. She has short hair. She's pretty fit, but she should look older than this. Here she looks like she's about 20, when she really should be about 65. Here's Cam, and you can see I have a close-up version where you can see details of his eyes and his hair, and then a far-away version where you can see his full body, but you don't see much detail on his eyes. In fact, it's much harder to show emotion. So when you're drawing, make sure you have different camera angles and different camera approaches. So you have your up-close camera where you can show emotion, and then your far away where you can show action or a conversation between two characters. You can also have torso shots too, not where you don't see the legs. Now, if you're looking like, wow, how do you do this? You can see it still where my planning pencil was. I make a skeleton of each character before I draw it out. And then there's setting. So this is actually my daughter's idea. We both drew out like our dream resorts. And this was my dream resort. And then I did a close-up of this. So this would not be in any storyline, but this is, I wouldn't show this on my comic book, but I would have it in the back of my head. This is a simple perspective drawing. Actually, it's not very simple. It's a 2-point perspective. And I cheated. I didn't use any rulers. I didn't actually have vanishing points on the paper. But drawing simple houses and trying to draw in three-dimensional dimensions and then adding your characters in scale, and then you can still give them a big speech bubble, is fine. That's how you create a setting. Creating a big place that the viewer can look at. You place a character in there and they can be very ambiguous, very small, and they have a speech bubble fitting it into the story. Good luck. I started by drawing a horizon line flat around across the middle. Then I laid out the basic shape for the two wings of the building. I did the roof line, maybe not accurately, but I did it. And then I started adding details. Notice I had planning lines for my windows, and so that all my windows are the same size, at least on every floor. Then I start adding details, and I add the same details to all the windows in an area. And if I do it to one window, I add it to all the windows. Then I add some details to the roof, and I'm done. Panels and gutters make up comic strips and comic books. Speech bubbles should take up about 1/3 of each panel. Make sure you write out the message first and then put the bubble around it. Good luck.